Starts right now, and for the third time, Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the Director of Criminal Investigations Mohammed Amin have failed to appear in court to explain the disappearance of several Kenyans allegedly abducted by people believed to be police officers. Justice Chacha Mwita had ordered Kanja and Amin to present themselves in court today and account for the whereabouts of Justice Mutumwa, Martin Mwau, and Karani Mwema. However, they failed to comply, prompting the judge to issue a new directive requiring them to appear in person and produce the missing persons by Friday. Our reporter Fred Kagonye was in the court and filed this report.
In not so unexpected turn of events, and for the upteenth time, the country's top security chiefs chose to stick to an old but familiar script, that of sheer defiance. Despite mounting public interest in the spate of abductions rocking the country, Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the Director of Criminal Investigations Mohammed Amin did not turn up in court today as had been directed by Justice Chacha Mwita.
The Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigations have a duty to the people of Kenya in protecting their lives and properties. Failure to attend court over such an issue is a serious breach of the court orders, which calls for sanctions, and the court will respond to the cry of the petitioners where appropriate.
The two had been directed to produce four men, Steve Kavingo, Justice Mutumwa, Martin Mwau, and Karani Mwema, who were abducted by unknown people believed to be police officers on December 16th and 17th in Mlolongo, only to go missing without a trace. In his orders, Justice Mwita had directed Kanja and Amin to produce the four men either dead or alive, and today the orders had not been complied with. And not even their lawyers or the Attorney General were present in court to say why. Steve Kavingo's name was, however, struck out from the petition as his name is in another petition filed by the Law Society of Kenya, that is before Justice Bahati Momuye. The petition is seeking answers on his whereabouts and those of Kevin Modoni, as well as the circumstances under which 5 men who had been abducted in December were freed. This case will be heard on January 27th, and Justice Momuye has directed Kanja and Amin to appear as well.
Since Stephen Kavingo is a petitioner in petition 714, his name is hereby struck out from this petition.
On his part, Justice Mwita ordered Kanja and Amin to appear in person on Friday this week, and at the same time make sure that Mwema, Mutumwa, and Mwau have been freed or their bodies have been produced.
In the alternative, the Inspector General of Police and the Director of Criminal Investigations do present bodies of Justice Mutumwa, Martin Mwau, and Karani Mwema before this court on 17th of January 2025 at 10 a.m. It will be in open court.
Ironically, while this was panning out, the Principal Secretary in charge of security, Dr. Raymond Omolo, was meeting members of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, where he vouched for the rule of the law.
Work is instrumental in restoring faith and confidence in our justice system. By investigating complaints against the police and proposing actionable recommendations to various institutions, you ensure that no police officer operates above the law and that every Kenyan enjoys all the freedoms and protections guaranteed by our Constitution.
It is not the first time top cops are defying court summons in what is turning out to be a case of walking in the footsteps of their predecessors. Kanja closely copying what his deputy Gilbert Masengeli did during the Kitengela 3 saga and Joseph Boynet in the Miguna saga. On his part, Amin is slowly but steadily following in the footsteps of George Kinoti, who was sentenced to 4 months in prison over the Jimmy Wanjigi Guns saga. Fred Kagonye, KTN, Nairobi.
Now that leads us to the abduction question, and Tanzanian activist Maria